The 13th Floor. Chapter 6. The Entries. I took the notebook upstairs and spent the rest of the night reading it. The blank pages weren't entirely blank. When I tilted them toward the light, I could see faint impressions in the paper. Like something had been written on pages above, and the pen had pressed through. I couldn't make out words. Just shapes. The ghost of a record I hadn't made yet. After the first line, there were more entries. Not many. A dozen, maybe. All short. She went back to looking at door 27 again today. She always looks at 27 longest. She touched the wall near the elevator. I could feel it. She's been asking Gerald questions. Gerald knows less than he thinks. She'll open a door soon. They always do. I've been waiting a long time. Not impatiently. There's no impatience here. Only the particular feeling of a story approaching its correct moment. The handwriting was mine. Not similar to mine. Not close to mine. Mine. Identical. The slight leftward lean I'd had since childhood, the way my lowercase e closed too tightly, the small inconsistency in my G's that a graphologist had once pointed out. I hadn't written any of it. I was certain of that. I was almost certain of that. Chapter 7. Door 27. I went back every night after that. I told myself I was gathering information, documenting, that the rational response to an irrational situation was methodical observation. I know now that I was being pulled. The hallway was always the same except for small details that shifted in ways I couldn't predict. Sometimes a door would be open that had been closed. Sometimes the carpet pattern was slightly different, not dramatically, just a half repeat off, the kind of thing you'd only notice if you'd been looking as carefully as I had been. I always looked longest at door 27. I don't know why. There was nothing visually distinct about it. Same brushed metal number, same peephole, same slight gap at the threshold where the door didn't quite seal. But every time I walked the hall, my steps slowed in front of 27. My hand would rise slightly, involuntarily, before I pulled it back. On November 14th, I stopped pulling it back. I knocked. The sound was wrong, too flat, too absorbed, like knocking on something that had no space behind it. Then, from the other side, a knock back. Same rhythm, same force. I pressed my ear against the door. Breathing. Slow and even. Who's there? I whispered. A pause. Then my own voice, from the other side. You already know. Chapter 8. What Gerald didn't say. I went back to Gerald the next morning. He took one look at my face and poured the coffee without speaking. I knocked on one of the doors, I said. He closed his eyes briefly. I heard myself on the other side. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he got up and went to his bookshelf and pulled out a folder, the kind you'd keep tax documents in, and set it on the table between us. Inside were photographs. The building in the 1980s, scaffolding up the side during the expansion. A newspaper clipping about the construction accident. And underneath those, something else. Printed pages from what looked like an online forum, years old. The formatting artifacts of an early internet, text dense and slightly misaligned. I read the top post. Has anyone else in Harlow Tower experienced the 13th floor? I've been there 4 times now. I live on 9. The elevator takes me there without warning, always between 1 and 4 a.m. I've seen a hallway identical to mine, but wrong in small ways. I've heard sounds from behind the doors. Last week I heard my own voice telling me to come in. I didn't. I want to know if I'm losing my mind or if something is actually happening. Below it, 7 replies. Most of them said yes. One of them said, I opened the door. Don't open the door. That post had no follow-up. The account had no other activity. It had been created and then abandoned, or deleted, or simply gone silent. I looked at Gerald. You knew, I said. I suspected, he said carefully. There's a difference. What's behind the door? He picked up the folder and straightened the papers inside with the same deliberate precision he applied to everything in his apartment. I don't know, he said. I never opened one. Why not? He looked at me directly for the first time in the conversation. Because whatever is on the other side already sounds exactly like you, he said. And if you open the door and walk through, how would you know which one came back out?